Hello students, welcome back. In my previous session, I discussed about special matrices, basically symmetric and skew-symmetric matrices and their properties. Now, we'll be switching to the remaining special matrices. That is, first of all, we'll be discussing about Hermitian and skew-Hermitian matrices. In Hermitian matrices, first of all, we'll discuss the concept of transpose conjugate. Then we'll be switching to skew Hermitian and we'll also discuss the various properties of Hermitian and skew Hermitian matrices. Then we'll be switching to involutory matrix and orthogonal matrices and idempotent matrices as well. So do stay tuned. Okay, so now we have Hermitian matrices. A square matrix A equal to Aij is said to be a Hermitian matrix if Aij is equal to A bar Ji. So what is this bar? And important concept that is related to the concept of Hermitian matrices is conjugate or transpose conjugate. So what did I say? Transpose conjugate, or it is often said called as conjugate, right? So if I have this A bar is conjugate. We'll come to the definition of Hermitian matrices later. First we'll discuss the concept of transpose conjugate, right? So if we have a matrix A, then its conjugate or transpose conjugate is defined as A theta, which means A transpose conjugate. Conjugate is defined as bar. What do we mean by conjugate of a number? If you remember, A minus IB, I have a complex number and I need to find its conjugate. Then what I need to do is I just need to change the sign of the imaginary part of that complex number. That is the conjugate of that particular number, right? Similarly, in case of matrices, what do we have? A conjugate or A transpose conjugate or A theta is A transpose and conjugate. You take the transpose of the matrix A and then you take the conjugate, or what you can do is you can take the conjugate first and then you can take the transpose of the resultant matrix. Both the matrices will be the same, right? So now we come to the definition of Hermitian matrices. A square matrix by now you must be knowing, A equal to Aij is said to be Hermitian if Aij is equal to A bar Ji, or you can see we have taken the transpose, so Ij becomes Ji and then we have taken the conjugate, so it is conjugate, or A theta is equal to A, right? For example, we have these matrices are examples of Hermitian matrices. How come Hermitian? Let us take this first. So I just take the transpose first. My first column becomes my first row. Second column becomes my second row. And then I take the conjugate. So what do I get after taking conjugate? A, B plus IC, just change the sign of the imaginary part. B minus IC and D. Just see, this is the same as the matrix A, right? This and this are same. So this is an example of Hermitian matrix. Similarly, you can see in this example also, if you take the conjugate and then transpose, then you will get the resultant matrix to be similar to the matrix A. An important property of Hermitian matrices is every diagonal element of a Hermitian matrix is always real, right? You can see in examples also, the diagonal element, the principal diagonal elements are always real. Okay, so this is an important property of Hermitian matrices that you must remember. Next we have is skew Hermitian matrices. A square matrix A equal to Aij is said to be skew Hermitian if Aij is minus of A bar Ji. That is, A theta is negative of A. Similarly, as in case of Hermitian, we had A equal to A theta. In case of skew Hermitian, we have A equal to minus of A theta. Example we have here is 0h minus g. You can see principal diagonal elements are zeros and rest of the elements, if I take it as A, you find out A theta. How do we find out A theta? First of all, I'll find out the conjugates, or you can take the transpose first. So I take the transpose 0 minus hg and h 0 minus f minus g f 0. Then I take the conjugate. You can see since the elements are all real, so the conjugate is the same as this matrix, right? So if you notice this, I am getting a theta equal to minus of a. Just see here, minus of h becomes minus h, right? So a theta is minus a, and hence this is an example of skew-Hermitian matrix. Important property says the diagonal elements of a skew-Hermitian matrix must be purely imaginary or zeros. So since here also we had zeros, you can either have zeros or only imaginary elements in the diagonal, right? In case of skew-Hermitian. Next matrix that we have is nilpotent matrix. A square matrix A is said to be nilpotent if there exists a positive integer m such that a raised to m is 0. So what does it say? That if we have an integer m such that a raised to that particular integer m gives us a 0 matrix, then the matrix A is said to be a nilpotent matrix. Moreover, if m is the least positive integer such that a raised to m is 0, then m is called the index of the nilpotent matrix A, right? Now we have an example in this context. Show that the matrix this is nilpotent matrix of index 3. So what do? I need to find an integer m such that a raised to m should come out to be a 0 matrix. I take my matrix A, which is 1 1 3 5 2 6 minus 2 minus 1 3, and first of all I find out a square. I multiply it by itself. Let us see what do we get. And this gives me 1 into 1 plus 5 into 1, that is 6, minus 6 gives me 0. Then again I have 0 and I have 0. Then it gives me 3. See, 5 into 1, 5 plus 5 to the 10. 15 minus 12 is 3. Then I have again 3. Then I have 9. Minus 1 and minus 3. Right? Now this is not a 0 matrix clearly. So what do? We now find out a cube, which is a square, that is 0 0 0 3 3 9 minus 1 minus of 3, and then we multiply it by a. It is obviously, in fact in this question it is saying nilpotent matrix of index 3, so a cube should come out to be 0. What does this give me? First row is 0, so this will obviously be 0. Then I have 3 plus 15 plus 3 is 18 minus 18, again 0. Then I have minus 1 minus 5 minus 6 plus 6, again 0. Then 0, this will obviously be 0. Then 3 plus 6 is 9, minus 9 is 0. And minus 1 minus 2 is minus 3 plus 3 is again 0. This is obviously 0. 9 plus 18, 27 minus 27 is 0, and this is again 0. So clearly this is a 0 matrix, and hence we have a cube is 0, which implies A is nilpotent matrix of index 3. Since 3 is the least positive integer such that a raised to m is equal to 0. So next we have certain important types of matrices, which are unitary matrix, then we have involutory and orthogonal matrix. So what do we mean by unitary matrix? A square matrix A is said to be unitary if it satisfies this property, which is A theta is equal to A theta A is equal to I. This you'll have to remember, the unitary matrix satisfies this property. Then we have involutory matrix. Again, a square matrix A is said to be involutory if A square comes out to be an identity matrix. Orthogonal matrix. Any square matrix A of order n is said to be orthogonal if it satisfies this property, which is A transpose is equal to A transpose A is equal to identity matrix, right? So these properties you'll have to remember. Some important points on orthogonal matrices. If A is orthogonal, then A transpose is also orthogonal. Then if A and B are orthogonal matrices, then AB and BA are also orthogonal, right? So this means if A satisfies this property, then A transpose will also satisfy this property, which is quite obvious. You can try out by substituting A transpose here to get this, right? Similarly, in case of A and B, if we have A and B are orthogonal, then we can easily prove AB and BA are also orthogonal. Next, we have an important type, which is idempotent matrices. Idempotent matrices are important. You can expect questions based on this. A square matrix A is called idempotent if it satisfies the relation A square is equal to A. If the square of a matrix equals the matrix itself, then the matrix is said to be idempotent. The matrix, this is idempotent. You can clearly see if this is A, then you can try to find out A and you will easily get A square equal to A. Then we have a question based on this, which says the sum of two idempotent matrices A and B is idempotent if AB equal to BA equal to what? So just note down whatever is given. Suppose I do not know how to proceed in this question, I just proceed from the question itself, what it says, what is given. Sum of two idempotent matrices. It is given that A and B are idempotent. So I write down A square equal to A and B square equal to B. Now we need to prove A plus B is equal to A plus B square. In order to prove A plus B is idempotent, we need to prove the square of that matrix is equal to the matrix itself. So I need to prove this. So what does that mean? I proceed from here, A plus B, I just open this bracket which gives A square plus B square plus AB plus BA. Now since you know the matrix multiplication is not commutative, so you cannot write AB equal to BA, just write it in this form, AB plus BA, right? Now A square is A, B square is B, so I write it down like this, AB plus BA. So what does this give me? I have this equation which means AB plus BA should be equal to 0. Now just see from the options, or you can directly see that we must have AB equal to BA equal to 0. Only then can this equation hold true. So sum of A and B, where A and B are idempotent, would be idempotent only if and only if AB equal to BA equal to 0. So do practice a good number of questions. In fact, you don't need to mug up the definitions, just understand the concepts and you'll be able to attempt the question based on them. So I hope you must have understood the various special matrices, Hermitian and skew Hermitian, idempotent and involutory matrices. In my next session, I'll be discussing the concept of elementary row operations. So keep watching.